A very good morning to all of you. Okay. Thank you for coming on a Sunday morning. Okay. You could have done 101 things in a good Sunday morning, but you have chosen to come to VF. Okay. So for that, I'm really grateful. Can I just invite some of you to sit slightly in the middle so I have some people that I can see right in front of me? If not, I feel that I'm talking to just unseen beings and maybe to the Dharma brother. Okay, thank you. So then, yeah. Okay, good. Okay, good. So as Brother Yuming said just now, today's topic is the modern Maras. Okay. So before we talk about modern Maras, maybe we need to talk about traditional Maras. Okay. But before we talk about traditional Maras, do you first know what's a Mara? Anybody know? Devil? Okay, the Buddhist devil or the Buddhist demon. Okay, can I check in? Is it the first time that you have listened to this word, that you have heard this word called Mara? Okay, anybody for the first time? Mara is the first time for you? No, oh good, all of you have heard of this term. Okay, so how many of you already knew Mara means demon? Most of you, right? Very good. Okay. How many of you have encountered Maras? You're like, wow, really? Okay, that will be quite interesting. Okay, usually he's a personification, okay, but sometimes he comes out. Okay, so today, this morning, okay, we'll have a good talk. Why I mention night? Because usually they come out at night, right? Okay. No, they also come out in the daytime. Okay, so let's have a good talk about Maras. Okay. 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 So let's start with the traditional Maras. Okay. The Buddha talked about 4 kinds of Maras. Okay. So we are going to first talk about the traditional 4 kinds. Okay. Any guesses? Any guess? Actually, in the Buddha's time, I don't know if you are aware, if you look at all the sutras, mostly they are dialogues between Buddha and his disciples and his so-called students. Okay? It's very seldom that Buddha gave a talk from beginning to end. So usually it's some kind of dialogue. So I'm very open to dialogue. So feel relaxed. And if you have any question, just raise your hands. If you have any, queries, whatever, any thoughts to share, just share. Okay? It's a very informal session. Okay, any guesses? Greed. Wow, yes, greed is definitely in one of the 4. Okay, greed is under what we call, lust and greed. Okay, very good. Okay, greed and lust is under one of them called the Mara of afflictions or defilements. Okay, in Chinese we call 烦恼魔. Okay, so very good. That's one of them. So under this so-called defilements, the Mara, we have many, okay? The 3 poisons, definitely, right? Okay, and then, all the whatever afflictions that we have, all the 烦恼, okay? Since I learned much of my Dharma in Chinese, right? I would like to share about the Chinese word as well. Anybody knows the Chinese word? Just now I said actually. What's the word? 魔女啊 How come there's a 女 there? How come not 魔男啊 Moni, for those who don't understand Chinese, Jerry was saying directly, Mara women. Okay, so actually, yes, there's definitely Moni, okay? But just the general word is mo, right? Okay, anybody knows how to write the word mo? Yeah, 一个 so-called 马哈，一个鬼. Okay, it's very interesting. How come there's a 鬼 there? Not new, it's 鬼, Devil, right? Yeah, actually this word was given by one of the Chinese emperors from the Tang dynasty. Okay? I'm not sure which dynasty, but one of the emperors. If I'm not wrong, it was Liang Wuti. He actually came up with this word. Before that, this word was just mo, written with a ma and then a 石头的石. That means that kind of mo, something that mo us also, that challenges us. That, okay? So then he thought, wow, Mara, mo, 很可怕. quite scary, huh? So he came out with this word. He put a 鬼 underneath. Okay? So it's very apt, right? So sometimes we have more 鬼 even, put another 鬼 down there. Okay, so but let's stick to more for now. Okay, so then interestingly, the Chinese translation of Mara, okay, is actually Mo Luo in the long form. Okay, but in short, it's still more. Okay, so let's talk about more today. Okay, so we have greed last. That's one. Any other guesses? Illusions. Okay, illusions. Let's see. Illusions can be categorized under this one now. Or interestingly, there's another one because I think it like in Hokkien we say "pao ka liao" already. Why? Because it's called the psychophysical aspects of Mara. Psychophysical. Okay, in Chinese we say 五阴魔. That means what's 五阴? 五蕴. The 5 aggregates. So the 5 aggregates comprise of our psychophysical, the physical and the psychological aspect, right, of us. So it covers everything already. So illusion would be maybe the mental, psychological aspect. And as long as you have this physical body, dangerous, okay? You will encounter Mara. Okay? Because this body you will get sick, right? Yeah? Etc., etc. Okay? Okay. Oh, by the way, generally, right, besides defining Mara as demon, it can be personified, okay, to be anything that distracts us from our practice, from, walking the Buddha's way. Anything that distracts us. So it may not be just a physical Mara, okay, anything. So this second Mara that we're talking about, the psychophysical aspect, actually covers a lot already. Okay, very good. So illusions definitely within. Okay, what's the third type? Five hindrances, huh? Very good. Yeah, 5 hindrances will be under this, the five aggregates. Thank you. Yeah, actually, the third one will encounter it sooner or later. Definitely you'll encounter. Yeah, very good. The Mara of death, sooner or later. Okay, so with death, wow, it will be some time before we get in touch with Dharma again. If you are lucky, you quickly reincarnate. Okay, and then you start from baby. I don't know when. Maybe you can come to Sunday school here. 4 years old, you can start. Okay? If not, what age? What age do you all start to learn about Dharma? 50. So we waited 50 years from your past life. Okay, but still lucky. After 50 years, you're still here. Okay, so Mara of death, definitely. Okay, so the third one, last traditional Mara. Last one. Huh? Sorry? Sickness. Sickness is under the psychophysical one. The last one is the external one. In Chinese, you say 天魔. Okay? So he's the Mara of one of the gods. Okay? So this one, I think some of you probably actually know him. If you study the Buddha's, if you don't need to study, if you read the Buddha's life story, who was the one who sent his 3 beautiful daughters to tempt the Buddha? Who? Mara, okay? Yeah. So that was this Mara of one of the gods actually. So I'll explain more about him. Okay? So he sent his 3 daughters. Actually, they all have names, no? The 3 beautiful daughters. Do you all know? Quite cool names. Any guesses? Huh? One is called Desire. Okay? So they all have Pali names, but I forgot the Pali name. So anyway, one is called Desire, one is called Pleasure, okay? And then the other one is called Delight, okay? So they all tried to tempt the Buddha, right? So luckily the Buddha wasn't tempted. Okay, so he was the one. And then when he didn't succeed, right, with the 3 daughters, what else did he send? The next thing that Mara sent? Forgot already, What about the children from the Sunday school? Huh? Forgot? Important one? I need to go back to revise. Ian, you should know. What was the next thing that Mara did? Mm. Okay, sorry. Okay, next. Okay, beautiful women didn't help. Huh? Next, he sent what? Strong what? Huh? Warriors, army. Okay, he sent the whole army, and then they started to shoot what? The poisonous arrows, right? Okay, at the Buddha, and then they turned into flowers. I think some of you may think, so legendary lah. I think you forgot about the whole story. Actually, there's a meaning, you know. So anyway, 软的不行来硬的啦 in Chinese, you know, some you know so-called army to try to frighten the Buddha, but the Buddha again wasn't tested, right? Okay, so turned into flowers. Okay, didn't harm him. So that was actually Mara's wrongdoing, Mara's doing. Okay, so in the end, Mara didn't succeed, right? Okay, and there's actually a next part to it. If you have listened to some of the sharing, maybe by some Theravadan monks, let's say, I don't know if you have heard things like, actually Mara still tried to appear quite a few times throughout Buddha's life. He never gave up, very persistent. So after Buddha gained enlightenment, what was the next thing that Buddha did? After his enlightenment? What did he do all his 49 years, 50 years? Teachings, right? Propagating the Dharma. So definitely Mara would try, okay, to stop him, right? So there were a few occasions when he tried to disguise, because Mara had powers, you know. So he did try to disguise as like a very kind person, and then at very critical periods of Buddha's life, tried to dissuade him from continuing to teach, okay? Yeah, but Buddha being Buddha, Buddha saw through him. So a lot of times Buddha would say, I know you, Mara. Buddha saw through him. Okay, then he would disappear. Okay, so many times. Yeah, and he didn't forget about his disciples, especially those who were about to gain arahantship. Also, okay, be it the bhikkhunis or the bhikkhus, even bhikkhunis, he will try, okay, to dissuade them, tempt them, use whatever kinds of words to try to dissuade them. So, but he never succeed. Okay, good. Okay, so that's the traditional Maras. Okay, so, but not to worry. Okay, the fourth kind of Mara usually is very hard to encounter. You know why? Especially for all of you. For me also. Why? Huh? We are not mindful enough, right? And then we are not of that caliber anyway. It's not that any time you will step into enlightenment, no? So Mara will be very, very careful, right? So we are not in his so-called attention field. So not to worry. Okay. So but there's this another bit of Mara and the Buddha story that I'd like to share that actually touched my heart. Okay, you look at the Buddha, right? If you look at all the Buddha stories, a lot of times, actually most of the times, Buddha was very calm, right? Peaceful, very cool, right? That's the impression we get of him. But there was once when the Buddha actually shed tears. Can you imagine? Okay, the Buddha actually cried. Okay, so that was one encounter with Mara. Would you like to listen to the story? Yeah, why did Buddha tear? You know, I was a psychotherapist, right? So I always try to make people cry, in those days. Our teacher sometimes joke, if you can make someone cry in your session, that means you have done some bit of work. But if that person is a crybaby, then doesn't help. But sometimes it's quite challenging to let people open up and cry and show their true emotions. So actually there was this occasion. So what happened was, Mara repeatedly tried from Buddha just before he gained enlightenment to all the way, right? And then even all the way, he tried to even persuade Buddha to quickly enter Nibbana, Parinibbana. Okay, so he went to the extent, quickly. Okay, so but he didn't succeed. Buddha waited for his time that was right. He so-called taught Dharma to all who had connections with him before he passed into enlightenment, okay? Including the last one, right? Chunda or someone, the last one. Okay, so after that, the Mara, okay, said something to the Buddha that made him cry. He said, okay, I've lost to you, totally, right? I've lost, okay? But wait, okay? Wait till the time of the degeneration of the Dharma period. Degeneration of the Dharma period. Okay, wait till then. Okay, by that time, my disciples, okay, all my descendants, all my disciples, they will disguise as your disciples. Okay, they will dress in your robes. They will be exactly like your disciples, and then they will, what will they do? Okay, they will destroy Dharma, destroy Buddhism at that time. That was when Buddha shed tears, because he knew that he could not prevent that time from coming. Okay, what's the degeneration of the Dharma period? Has it arrived? Not yet, Here already. Okay, it's actually, okay, what year are we now? I've lost track already. 2,500, we're all celebrating Vesak, right? Big occasion. 2560 this year. Wow, just nice, Beautiful number. Okay. 2560. Okay, which means, okay, revision. The first 1,000 period is the Zhenfa, is the flourishing period. First 1,000 years. Okay? Were you all born then? Maybe not, if not, we won't be sitting here. Right? Okay. Then the second 1,000 years will be Xiangfa, the age, the period that looks like the flourishing age, but not quite, but not too bad. The next 1,000 years, that means total 2,000 years. And then the last, how many years? Would be the degeneration period. 10,000 years. Yeah, there will be a total of 10,000 years for Dharma to keep degenerating. Okay? So now we are into our maths. What? 560 years. Okay, we're just in the supposedly, okay, 560 compared to 10,000 is beginning, right? Okay, but we are beginning to see what Mara had predicted already. Are you all aware? So what did Mara say again? His descendants, his disciples, in Chinese we say 他的魔子魔孙, okay, will disguise as 佛子佛孙, okay, they will disguise as monks and nuns from the Buddhist tradition, okay, and then destroy us. So it's also called the analogy of what we call the lion's worms, 狮子虫, okay. So what do you know about the lion? Lion, king of the beast, okay, king of the jungle, right? So lion, he's not afraid of other animals, right? Okay, he's the king of the jungle, king of the forest. Okay, but he's afraid of one thing. He's afraid of what? Zika. Now there's Zika, right? Aedes. Okay, whatever. He's afraid of viruses, the worms in his body. So if he gets food poisoning, that's it. Okay, okay. So worms. Okay, he's not afraid of any external things. He's just afraid of internal things, including his worms, etc., all the viruses, bacteria in his body. So same for Buddhism. We are never afraid of other religions, all this while. Okay, we are never afraid of Islam, Christianity, but we are afraid of the insiders, okay, who are not really with us. So that's what we are afraid of. Okay, so I don't want to mention names, but you probably heard of, stories of, how come there are practitioners, okay, be it monks or nuns or even lay people who are not quite propagating the right Dharma. I don't know if you have encountered. So if you have not, be very careful, okay? If you have, be very careful also, okay? Okay, be extra careful, okay? Okay, let me give you another analogy. Let's say I have this cup of water. Okay, it's 99% pure water. Okay, but what if Brother Yuming? No lah, he won't be doing that. Okay, Mara. Okay, put just 1% of poison inside my cup of water, but it's 99% pure water. Just 1% of poison. Can I drink? Cannot, right? Just this 1% may kill me, right? So same. So whatever the teachings, if it's 99% Dharma, but just 1% of non-Dharma, okay, funny teachings, okay, just 1%, is very dangerous. Okay, so don't just go for talks, whatever, or meetings, whatever gatherings, because, it's okay, most of it is Dharma, I can listen, but we don't have the wisdom, we don't have the discernment to discriminate, to discern what's the 1% that's not. And once you are intoxicated with that 1%, it's very dangerous. You may just go the wrong way. Okay, it may lead you further and further away. Okay, so check in with orthodox teachers. Ajahn Brahm, okay, check in all the time. Okay, your patron, okay, or other visiting teachers or any local teachers, check with them to be very safe. There are actually a lot nowadays, especially those coming from other countries, visiting ones. Be very careful. Okay, good. Okay, so you all know why the Buddha shed tears, okay? So try to let him, not feel so sad, okay? Okay, we try to discern and try to walk the right path. Okay, good. Any other questions about the traditional Maras? Okay, so anything that distracts us from our practice. So let's look at modern time, okay? How much more time do I have? Okay, good. Modern times. Any guesses? What are the modern Maras? Who said that? Can I have your iPhone? Do you carry iPhone with you all the time? So you have Mara with you all the time? Yeah. Now, in psychology, there's one term, okay? Have you heard? It's called nomophobia. Nomophobia. Not nomophobia, okay? It's more mobile, okay? No mobile phone phobia. In short, it's called nomophobia, NOMOPHOBIA. So in psychology, we have this manual. It's called DSM-4. Now I think they have the 5th edition, DSM-5 already. Okay, DSM, short for Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, something like that. Okay, DSM in short. So they have come up with the 5th edition. They are still debating how to put this nomophobia inside. Okay, this new phenomenon. Okay, so what's nomophobia? Okay, the fear or the anxieties of losing contact with who are? With your handphone. Okay, so let me check in who has nomophobia. Okay, can be serious, can be not so serious. Huh? Okay, let me give you a scenario. Okay, you're out of your house. Okay, maybe you're on the MRT train or you're in your car. Suddenly, you realize, what? Huh? Your handphone is not with you. What's your first reaction? Huh? Go back. Okay, in terms of your emotions, that's the thinking. Okay, go back and grab. Any emotions within you? Upset. Okay, any other emotions? Boring, Boring already, cannot play already. Or worry? Worry. You see, worry already. Because I didn't say whether you left it at your house, right? Yeah, but I said in the morning, probably the previous night you have realized already you don't have it with you. But anyway, yeah, worry. But maybe on the way to your car park or on the MRT, you drop it or something, right? Okay, anyway, worry, upset, any other emotions? Huh? Finding, yeah, you want to search for it and make sure is it in your handbag or something, right? How come no positive emotions? Anybody say, phew, okay, one day I don't have to look at my handphone. Anybody? Okay, so I've asked these questions with many of my students. Okay, most of them would answer whatever you answered, and then, chiong, go back and get it. Because even I realize in your workplace nowadays, even in the same company, you all communicate with handphones, right? I heard, right? Right, like even in the same company, maybe it's a big company, upstairs, downstairs, so there's a lot of communication. They'll give the reason that, I need it for my work, so I quickly got to go home and get it, okay, etc., etc. Okay, so anyway, a lot of research going on, okay, for this new phenomena, okay, of fear or any anxiety when you are not in contact with your handphone, okay. So how's the implication, for being a modern Mara? I think it's a good time to talk about that, right? We are into this age already, we must talk about it. Okay, I probably would have heard that you all have been watching maybe Ajahn Brahm's talks on YouTube, right? Definitely, right? So it's good in that sense. And many other talks from other venerables, right, that they put on YouTube. Myself also, that's how I get in touch with my teachers in Taiwan. Okay, so I cannot go regularly to Taiwan, okay, for their teaching. So, wow, so I'm so happy that they put out on YouTube or whatever, China, whatever, whatever website that they have, okay? So that's the good thing. So this one, not to deny all the convenience, all the technology kind of convenience, okay, that we have for us to continue to listen to the Dharma, propagate the Dharma, okay. But since we're on the topic of Maras, let's also talk about the other aspects of it, okay, all the modern technologies that we cannot be without already. I think we have come to the point of no return already. Would you want to give up your smartphone for a Nokia? Do they still have Nokia phone? Okay, any other phones besides a smartphone? No, right? Would you want to give up WhatsApp for just SMS? No, right? I think we cannot go back already. Okay, okay. So let's maybe talk more about that. Okay, yeah. Okay, where should we start? Okay, honestly, okay, let's face this. Do you think it's, okay, let's say your handphone. Do you think it's becoming more or less a distraction for your so-called practice or whatever Dharma path you are at? Honestly. I see somebody nodding, Okay? Honestly. Be very true to yourself. Okay? We are actually seeing as a bit of a problem in our Sangha groups already. So let's say I was ordained in Taiwan. So now I'm beginning to hear that a lot of the organizations in Taiwan, they are starting to restrict already the monks and nuns, especially the younger ones. So let's say for Buddhist colleges, so what I'm hearing is that, let's say for Buddhist colleges, they have like the Chinese, the Taiwanese colleges, they have what they call the pre-U level, university level, and postgraduate level. So, okay, for postgraduate level, they will say they will need Wi-Fi, okay? They will need to do their essays, right? So they still have some contact, But for so-called the pre-U level, since we have so many texts, you cannot finish reading all the texts anyway, okay? So they restrict the use. If I'm not wrong, some of the colleges actually totally ban, okay? They cannot use their handphones or whatever, no Wi-Fi for them. They cannot have access to any laptop or handphone. So that they only have, okay, the text. So actually it's a little bit like my lifestyle back then or your lifestyle back then when we didn't have all this, okay? Yeah, and then maybe for those doing the university level or the postgraduate level, they can have some access, okay? So that's what I heard. Then recently I was talking to one of my monk friends. He's originally from USA. Now he's doing a 19-year Geshe program. Can you imagine? Yeah. 19 years, Buddhist PhD program, 19 years, okay? So he's into his 10th year. So he said, actually, they are in this monastery with thousands of Sangha members. Then they have a house within the monastery that they stay, house or also called the hostel, okay? So in the house, okay, no Wi-Fi, okay, no smartphones, okay? Then in the monastery where they have classes, they have debates, they have those, what do you call that? Those adapter kind of, whatever. No Wi-Fi, but or modem or something, okay, that they can use in their libraries. So that's it. So they are into this very traditional program because they cannot finish reading all the texts anyway, like 5 big texts and so many. So whatever the modern people say actually don't matter that much already. Okay, so they just need to go to all the traditional texts. So what I'm hearing for the more traditional settings, they are making sure that they don't get distracted. Especially the younger monks and nuns, don't get distracted by all this. I even heard in Taiwan, if you want to bring your handphone to this temple, you cannot be ordained here. You choose. Okay, you want to be ordained here, you don't bring your handphone. You want to bring your handphone, you cannot be ordained here. To that extent, Okay, so that's what I heard. Huh? Okay, but that's for people, Sangha members who are, or only people who are enrolling into their programs, those serious, more serious practitioners, okay? So let's come back to all of us here. How can we strike this balance, middle path? Okay, how can we not be too distracted, okay, by our handphones and still set some time, let's say, or some space for our practice? Okay? So that's something we need to talk more about. So I don't know how important is practice for you, or do you just come on a Sunday morning and then Monday to Saturday no Dharma? I don't know how's your life like. I cannot imagine that kind of life. Huh? Okay, who's just a Sunday Buddhist? I hope not lah, huh? Okay, I heard from Sister Yin, Sunday is supposed to recharge you for Monday to Saturday, right? So hopefully you are not just an everyday Buddhist, but an every moment Buddhist, okay? Okay, hopefully, yeah. So actually, I'm talking about Maras, okay, to help you be more mindful of your mind, okay? If not, there's no point talking about Maras. Like I said just now, Mara, the external Mara would not be interested to talk to you, okay, to get in contact with you. And then whatever we share about all the traditional Maras just now, yeah, you probably won't feel they distract you. Anyway, you are friends with them all the time, right? Greed, whatever. Okay, doesn't bother you. You are like good friends anyway. Huh? So I hope this topic. That's why I'm actually hoping to attract people like you, who come, not just because you're curious, but who wants to have a certain relationship with Mara, okay, that is more healthy, okay, hopefully, okay. So, okay, not that easy for me to gauge where you're at. Okay, so okay, are we on the same ground that say that you are serious about Dharma? Are we on the same ground? Should be lah. Okay, you're serious, okay? Okay, serious about Dharma is one thing. Okay, next, okay, my name, back to my name, let's say. My name in Chinese is written as Jian, okay? Jian is to see, okay? And Xin is, Xin, how do you translate Xin to English? Heart of mind. Okay, it's very interesting. You know, if, let's say, when I talk to Theravada monks, especially from Thailand, etc., when they talk about the mind, where do they point? Yeah, for the Thailand ones, they point here. Okay, for the Tibetans also. Okay, Tibetans, I think it's called Sem, the word Sem. They point here also. Chinese, Xin, where do you point? Here, right? Okay, English, mind, where do you point? There. Interesting, huh? Okay, so this is, to me, this is a very big word. I gave a sharing on this word mind some time ago. Okay, Pali word is chitta. Okay, chitta, not the fastest animal chitta. Okay, C-I-T-T-A pronounced as chitta. Okay, bodhicitta, chitta. Okay, this word, the mind. So it's very misleading because the English word mind is here. Okay, here is slightly nearer, but it's still mind is not just here. If sin is here, then what happens? Then it's just within here, right? No, sin is bigger than this. Okay, you know, this mind or my consciousness. Okay, anyway, this is a big topic. So let's come back. So my name, right? Jian Xin. Okay, so I remember there was actually one of my friends. He actually made a short video clip about Ajahn Brahm and all the Theravada monks. It's called The Forest Way. Have you all watched this movie before? The Forest Way? Yeah, he gave me one. He's my friend. He's actually a freelance person, but he made quite a good one. So anyway, I remember there was this very young Thai monk. I think he was 25 years old only when he was interviewed. And then he said this sentence, I still remember. He said, my hobby is to see my mind. Then I was like, huh? Okay, my hobby is to 见心, okay, to see my mind. Okay, so I hope that can be your hobby as well. Okay, would you like to have this hobby? Yeah, quite a nice hobby to have. Okay, then Mara would look out for you already. Okay, my hobby is to see my mind. Okay, so what's seeing your mind? What's the best way to see your mind? What are the ways that the Buddha taught to see our mind? Meditation. Okay? So, any form of object of meditation would be a very good technique, okay, to see your mind. Okay? So, let me check in. How many of you have a daily routine, whatever form of routine, however long, okay, that you have on a daily basis to see your mind? Can I have a show of your hands? Very good. But a little bit sad. Now I'm shedding tears already. Just a handful of you. Okay? So majority of you, right? I'll say maybe 90% of you, you don't have a routine yet. Okay? I'll need a lot of time to share with you how important it is to have a routine. Okay? But since I don't have so much time, I'll just need to ask you one question. Where do we live in? Where do we live in? Singapore. Where do you live in all the time? Live in the present, live in samsara. Very good. We were talking about this one, right? We live in our mind all the time. Do you agree? We live in our mind all the time. Can we say that? Do we live in just this body? Not just this body, yeah? Mind and body, right? So we live in, yes, this body, but we also live in our mind all the time, okay? So if you are living in this body all the time, doesn't it make sense to try to understand this mind, since you need to live in it all the time? Right? Think about this. Okay? So I was a psychotherapist, counselor. So the people who came to see me, definitely they were not, most of them were not so-called having problems with their body. If not, they won't come and see me. They will go and see their GP or any doctors, right? But they came to see me because they had problems with their mind, more or less. Okay? Yeah. So all of you lucky, you don't need to see any psychologists, psychotherapists right now. Hopefully not. Okay? Yeah. But if you need to, it's also important that you acknowledge that there's some problems with your mind. Okay? It's becoming a more and more serious thing nowadays. Okay? Let's say depression. Depression is becoming one of the very common mental disorders in Singapore and in many parts of the world. Okay? The statistics is about 1 in 4 having depression. And depression is serious because it may lead to severe depression, which may lead to, any guesses? Suicide. That's the serious thing. Suicide. So actually a lot of the suicides in Singapore, first they are underreported. Secondly, if you trace, right, a lot of them are connected with depression, actually. So it's becoming a very serious thing. Okay, and then now with nomophobia, okay, a lot of other so-called mental disorders that are coming out of it. Okay, so looking into your mind, okay, is really important. So at the end of this topic, if you have forgotten anything about Maras, it's okay. Okay, but my wish is you will start to establish a daily routine in whatever form. Have you heard of that brother, Tan Chek Ming, right, from Google? Yeah? Has he come before? Yes, right? Yeah, so what I heard, he has been sharing about, 2 minutes meditation even, right? Really for the busy people, huh? Okay? What I know in China, the busiest people actually, I don't know how much you know about China history, but the busiest people were actually people in the palace in those days. Okay, don't think that the emperor is easy to be, in those days. Very difficult. They have Zhao Chao, no? I don't know, now they have a lot of dramas. I don't know whether they talk about that. They have to wake up very early in the morning. And then they have like all the gatherings, all the important meetings, and then decisions to make, whatever. Okay, so not easy to be a good emperor. So that's why a lot of them have very short life. There's a lot of brain work, a lot of effort. Anyway, then can you imagine all the so-called the officials in the palace? Very busy also. Okay, but they had national teachers in those days, Guoshi, who are the monks in the Buddhist tradition, or sometimes the so-called in Taoism, in Confucianism, the 3 main so-called religions in Chinese times, China. So So what the national teachers actually taught the busy people in those days, especially those in the palace, okay, they just have to do so-called periodicals. No, not just 2 minutes. They didn't have clock in those days, huh? But let's say they either they do some kind of chanting. Let's say in those days they have like chanting of Amitabha, or they do breathing meditation also. So they have to do it like morning and night. So at least there's some routine. Morning, first thing after they wake up. Okay, so if they were doing chanting, they have to do 10 sets. One set is how long the breath can take. Let's say if they chant, they do chanting, Amitabha, Amitabha, Amitabha. They chant, okay, until they have no more breath. Okay, that's one count. Okay, they will do 10 counts like this. So let's say if they do their meditation, let's say they will do a short one just after they wake up, and then just before they sleep. Okay, so I don't know how busy you are compared to those officials. Okay. In those days, huh? Okay, but I think because they didn't have handphones, so they probably have slightly more time. Okay, anyway, so maybe for busy Singaporeans here, y'all can consider a routine like this. Okay, morning and night. That's why in temples we always have 早晚课. We have our morning prayers and our evening prayers. Okay, and it makes sense. Because morning is a good thing to start your day with, right? And evening is a good thing to reflect. So we have morning and evening prayers. So for y'all can really consider. Okay? So but if you are really busy and morning is like I don't know how your mornings look like. You know, you have your alarm clock and then you have to snooze and snooze. I don't know. And then you wake up. So instead of snoozing, okay, use that 10 minutes, okay, to do some form of routine. Okay? And then at night before you sleep, okay, since you're going to sleep, you're going to off your handphone, right? Who never off your handphone? At night. You do, right? Okay, hopefully. Okay, off your handphone at night. Then you can have some time for your mind. Okay, another maybe 5-10 minutes just before you fall asleep. Okay, I'm going to use something that I learned in psychology to motivate you a bit. Okay, I used to be a hypnotherapist. Okay? Oh, hypnotherapist. Okay. So be careful, I can hypnotize you, okay? I can do group hypnosis, no worries. The rule is, you can never be hypnotized if you don't want to, okay? The myth is, you know, like, wow, you are being controlled by whoever, you know, the hypnotherapist. No, you can never, because it's your own mind, you can never be hypnotized if you don't want to, so don't worry. Okay? But I learned something, okay, from my hypnosis teacher, and then I learned something from one of the very high Rinpoches that I had the good karma to be in contact with, and they said the same thing. Okay, first about my hypnotherapist. Huh? The 2 periods of hypnotherapy that we can do on ourselves, okay, so that we strengthen our subconscious mind for whatever purpose. It can be for some addiction problem that you want to overcome. It can be some goals that you want to achieve. There are 2 periods that you can do self-hypnosis. Okay, so what are the 2 periods? It's exactly the period that you just wake up, okay, and the period that you just before you fall asleep. Okay, they had science to prove that. You know, hypnotherapy is a very scientific kind of approach nowadays. They use science, so they managed to measure the brain waves, okay, of people, right? Okay, and they come up with what they call brain cycles. So in 1 second, they have, you know, gadgets to measure the brain cycles. So they have 4 kinds of brain states that they conclude with. Huh? Okay, let me share with you. This will help us understand our mind better. So Buddha already knew about the mind, huh? But Buddha didn't have all the science knowledge. So now I'm going to use science to help us appreciate Dharma more. Okay, first we talk about beta state. Okay, if you remember maths, beta, written like a year, okay, beta state. So this beta state is a very normal state. So probably most of you are in this state right now. Huh? It's a very normal state whereby the brain cycles in 1 second is about 14 to 21 cycles. 14 to 21 cycles. So it's actually quite fast. Okay, so this normal state we are at, most of the time we are looking at whatever that's external. We are not looking within. So this is a normal state. Okay, 14 to 21 cycles. We live in this state all the time. Okay, but now a lot of so-called, all those whatever you call them, those motivational speakers, whatever, okay, they are helping us to come to what we call alpha state. Have you heard the term before? Alpha state. So what's alpha state? Alpha state is a slightly slower state than beta state. It's about 7 to 14 cycles in 1 second. So it's much slower. So we get into alpha state when we are feeling very relaxed. Okay? During a meditation, probably you are in this state. So during our 5 minutes, hopefully you were in alpha state. Okay? And maybe some of you are in alpha state right now, hopefully. Okay? So it's about 7 to 14. So in this state, you are actually more aware of what's within your mind. You are more aware, not just external. So you can live in your mind, and then this state would help you achieve more things because you have you have better concentration, better mindfulness, etc. All the benefits of alpha state. Okay? So nowadays they have like whatever, music, whatever, to help you go into that state. Actually, the Buddha already taught us. You just do any form of meditation, you get into alpha state. Okay? 7 to 14. Okay, now I'm going to talk about hypnosis state. Okay? Hypnosis state is like what we call deep meditation. Okay? Deeper. It's only about 3.5 to 7 cycles in 1 second. Can you imagine? 3.5 to 7 compared to 14 to 21. It's many times slower. Okay? So in this slower state, you get into deep level of so-called meditation, and then you are more aware of what's within you. So that's when you can get in touch with your subconscious mind. So they try to measure the brain also. Usually we have like what we call a critical factor. Critical factor means that a lot of times, let's say now if I tell you, okay, all of you, you are now lying on a beautiful beach. Okay, the critical factor will quickly come in. No, I'm sitting here in BF. That's the critical factor. It's supposed to protect us to be so-called in reality. But in the hypnosis state, this critical factor is bypassed already. So you will really feel, wow, you are now in some beautiful beach, Hawaii beach or something. Wow, you can hear the brain waves. Okay? So that's when you are in the hypnosis state already. Okay? So what does that mean? That means we can be in this state, okay, and go into such deeper states of the mind. So let's say, okay, now you want to connect with compassion. It's easier to connect with compassion, right? Bodhicitta, whatever. So your critical factor will not come in. No lah, I'm this person. No. You know, you can then easier. Okay? So hypnosis state. Okay. And finally, okay, why is it so easy to fall asleep when you do a meditation? It's because we go into delta state. Okay? Delta state is the Z monster state. Okay. Okay. It's only 0.5 to 3.5 cycles. Okay? So that's why from alpha state, if you go down, and then I hear snoring already because you go into delta state. Okay? So now, why so many people have sleeping disorders, insomnia nowadays? Can you all guess why if you look at the brain cycles? Because you are on your handphone all the time. Wow, I don't know what movie you watch on YouTube. Blah, blah, blah. So maybe you're not even at 14 to 21 cycles. What state again? The beta state. They should come up with something. Beta state. I don't know, maybe it's 25 or 30 cycles. Okay? Can you imagine? So how to bring it to 0.5 to 3.5 to fall asleep? Can you imagine? So now it's becoming serious. I heard now GPs, they cannot so-called give out medication for more, sleeping pills for more than 7 days. The maximum is just 7 days. They have to refer you to see a psychologist already or a psychiatrist already. Because it's serious already, because people will keep coming back for more. Then it doesn't help because you are just relying on the pills. Okay, so but I see it as a problem because if I look at the so-called this brain wave, right? But people in olden days different, right? Okay, let's go back to those times when we didn't have lighting, No, don't just mention other modern technologies. So when the sun goes down, what happened? You go down also lah. No, the sun goes down, there's no more light already. So you unwind already, right? In those days, Okay? Okay, then we have TV, We have lightings, right? Then you don't unwind, right? After work, very happening, all your evenings, then, all the way to midnight. So your brain is still very active, right? So then how to fall asleep? Unless, okay, maybe sometimes your body is very tired. Okay, you fall asleep. But then slowly, if your mind is still overly stimulated and activated, even if your body is tired, have you had that experience? You still can't sleep. And that's the scary thing. We are talking about the mind again. Huh? You can't just tell the mind, sleep, and then you sleep, right? No way. Okay? Maybe just check in. Any of you already experiencing some form of sleeping problems? Like you need maybe half an hour, 1 hour, right? To then get slowly. Yes. Yes. Yeah, somehow when you wake up, your brain cycle shoot up already. It doesn't stay at 0.5, 3.5. Oh, it becomes beta state already. Very difficult. Yeah, so we call it waking middle of the night syndrome also. Okay. Yeah, then you catch very little hours, right? Yeah. Okay. But if you ask those practitioners, first they don't have to sleep that much anyway, but they get very good quality, because if they are in this, what we call, the so-called the hypnosis state or alpha state all the time, they don't need so much delta state, so-called. Okay? So talking about hypnotherapy again. So just before you wake up and just before you sleep, that's the best time. So when the brainwave is slow, so that's the best time when you do your practice. Okay? If you are doing any breathing meditation, if you are doing any mindfulness, any visualization, any chanting, whatever, that's actually the best period. Okay, very good period, and one of the best period for your mind. Okay, so I was talking about this. There was this high Rinpoche called Drupal Rinpoche. He was in the caves in Himalayas for at least 30 plus years. Okay, so when he came out, wow, his hair, he was really a yogi, you know. His hair was like, can you imagine? Okay, yeah, but after that he cut it. Okay, so anyway, one of my good friends, good Dharma friends, she's very serious practitioner. So one day she had the good opportunity to ask Rinpoche, okay, Rinpoche, how should I continue to do my practice? Okay, Rinpoche answered, just after you wake up, don't even go to brush your teeth. Just after you wake up, okay, for her she does Om Mani Padme Hum chanting. Okay, do your chanting just after you wake up. Okay, don't bother about brushing your teeth, whatever. Okay, and just before you sleep. Interesting, right? Did my hypnosis teacher and Drupal Rinpoche did some discussion? I don't think so. I think Rinpoche definitely had that realization in all the Dharma that he knew, and also in his own experience, being a meditator in the cave for more than 30 years. You know, that was the mind state that was most effective. And definitely if you have other periods of your time, it's also good. Okay? But that's two good periods. Okay? So hopefully, with some scientific knowledge, some psychology knowledge, all of you can set some routine. Okay? So instead of snoozing, okay? Yeah, have that period to do some meditation. Okay? And then at night, just before you... Yeah, actually when you lie down, that's actually a very good period to continue your practice until you fall asleep. Okay, so for full-time practitioners like us, we don't waste any so-called bit of our time. So this period, even just before I sleep, I'll do my practice. Okay, yeah, and then actually for us, a good way to know how much we have imprinted our minds with our practice is we look at what we dream. Okay, if in our dreams we still do our practice, wow, that's perfect. Okay. I don't know if you dream of yourself doing your practice in your dreams, very seldom. Very difficult. If you can dream of the Buddha in your dream, wow, perfect. Because that's our subconscious mind. And for you, to have imprints in your subconscious mind, we don't know how much we need to put in. Conscious mind, not to mention. Beta state, no need to mention. But if in deep states, you have always imprinted your mind with Dharma, with Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, that's actually very rare. Okay, so that's how we sometimes gauge our practice, what we dream. Okay, can I share with you a funny dream that I had recently? So it so happened to be year of this monkey. I was doing some sharing about, the monkey parable in Buddhism, right, with my group of people. Then So then definitely they came out with Monkey King. Okay? And then this Australian lady, she actually watched Monkey King 3 times in Australia. You know, in those days they had the China one, the very classic one. Yeah, the 西游记, you know. And then she actually watched it 3 times. I was so amazed. So she's totally familiar with Monkey King. And then that night I dreamt of Monkey King. Very strange. So it was at night, okay? And then because I grew up in, you know, somewhere in Little India, and then we had a lot of, there was this temple nearby, they always had those mediums, you know. So I was very scared actually when I was young, and then, yeah, they had like mediums, and then what, Tai Seng Ya, they had a Monkey King kind of thing. Yeah, so I was very scared when I was young. Then I was tested in my dream. So I was with like a few venerables, and then it was at night. Then suddenly, someone, okay, he looks like a person, but suddenly he was like the Monkey King, no, Monkey God, suddenly, you know. And then he had to come to me some more, and then he really pounced at me, really like a monkey, you know. I don't know, you know, like suddenly, wow, can you imagine? So I was very afraid in the dream, okay. But luckily, okay, anyway, I heard a voice that says, 念咒,念咒,念咒. So I think Monkey King he has what? 紧箍咒 Oh, 念咒 chant that mantra, you know. I don't know how to chant 紧箍咒, so 念咒, 念咒. But because I used to chant Om Mani Padme Hum for like 10 years of my life. So in that dream, I took it that I have to chant Om Mani Padme Hum, something like that. The advice was given, 念咒, 念咒. Maybe Kuan Yin was asking me, okay, chant some mantra. Okay? But I remembered, luckily, at that state, I keep my calm, keep my cool. I chanted my own practice. My practice now is just Amitofo. Okay? And I do it in counts of 10 to focus better. It's like counting our breath, but I count my Amitofo. So in that state, I could do that. Amitofo. Okay, that's the first count. Amitofo. Okay, you're behind me. That's the second count. Amitofo. Until I was very, very peaceful, very much more calmer. And then the monkey behind was also quite calm. Okay? Then finally he left me. And then I still could communicate with him. You know, you know, like, actually it's good for you not to continue to you know, to be a monkey, quickly gain enlightenment, something like that. I was trying to talk some Dharma to him, then I woke up. Yeah, okay. I don't know. So anyway, crazy dream. Yeah, but I'm happy because at least I remember my practice, exactly how I do it in my daily life, in that nick of the moment, you know, when you were so frightened. So your dream would be a way to test how your subconscious mind has been like and how you have been working on your mind so that at the subconscious level, you are still, you know, so-called a master of your mind. Okay? So now what's happening is, in the modern period now, because of all the modern maras, internal, external, we are all slaves to our minds. That's the thing. Okay? Okay, I mentioned sleeping problem, right? Let's say a lot of us are having it now. Okay? You cannot just tell your mind sleep. Okay? Then I mentioned, like, let's say depression or even moodiness, you know, just like restlessness, whatever states of mind, right? Negative states of mind. You cannot just tell your mind, be happy. Okay, then it's happy again. Not possible, right? Yeah? So which means maybe it's time, you know, to start to master our mind so that, okay, sleep. You ask your mind to sleep, then you sleep. You know, you ask your mind to be happy, you can be happy. You ask your mind to be enlightened, then it's enlightened already. Right? No, it doesn't come like that. You have to keep practicing on your mind. Okay? Yeah. But if you are in beta state all the time, okay, then the external Mara definitely has nothing to do with you. He will not come to you. Internal Maras also doesn't matter because it's with you all the time. Okay? But yeah, maybe, okay, consider, okay, starting some daily practice so that slowly you can be a master of your mind until you are a Buddha, when you are totally enlightened. Okay? How many minutes? Okay. You know, for results, they actually haven't so-called research on the best time, okay, the best time period. That's why Brother Tan Chek Meng, he even suggested 2 minutes for the very busy people. 2 minutes every day. Can you imagine how it's like? Okay, 2 minutes every day. Okay, but I'm more ambitious. Because I actually had the experience with one of my friends. Can I still share? Okay. Okay, this friend, he's quite a high flyer, okay, from our university days. So now I don't know his exact position, I didn't check with him, but nowadays, apparently CEOs of the government bodies don't need to write their own speech. Nowadays, they are too busy, or they are, I don't know. So they have people like, let's say my friends, who's also quite a higher position, but not the CEO. So he's supposed to help her write a speech. Okay, that speech is supposed to be in April. So when my friend came in early March, he was totally stressed. Okay, and it was supposed to be the third time helping a CEO. Before that, it was another CEO. This is a new CEO, but first time helping her. Before that, he had 2 experiences. So also very stressed. I don't know, I cannot imagine. So he's so stressed about writing this speech that now it's just 1 month plus before that, and he's experiencing all the stress symptoms. Okay, what are the stress symptoms? You all should know. What are the stress symptoms? Sleep, right? Sleep is one of them. So he didn't have good sleep, like he keep waking up, let's say, at night. And then other symptoms? Stress symptoms? Anxiety, yeah. And then the anxiety translates in terms of physical, like his hand will keep shaking or something, Then like he's more distracted because he need to use his fingers, right, to work on the mouse, and then it keeps distracting him. All the anxiety symptoms come out, because of a speech. So anyway, but I realized it was a true concern for him. If not, he wouldn't look for me and urgently look for me. So in the daytime, he contacted me. He hoped to come to me after work at night. And I could imagine, because maybe another night of distress would be difficult for him to handle. So, okay, I said I'll see him at night, even though I had wanted to have that evening for my own meditation because I was out the whole day. So I saw him from 7 plus to 10 plus, okay, working with him on his mind. Can you imagine? Okay, so the interesting thing was he's such a busy man, okay, with kids also, and whatever work he was doing, maybe at least 10 to 12 hours day work. Because after work, late hours, and then go back, still work on the speech somehow, I think, and maybe other work. So for him, his practice is, we decided on a practice for him, the object of meditation, because he has a Kuan Yin statue at home, right? So he feels very connected with Kuan Yin. So he would want to chant Namo观世音菩萨 for him, let's say. Okay? Then when I check in with him, so how many sets of Kuan Yin Pusa? So to make it work better, so we had also counting of the mantra, okay, the name. So how many, okay, for him? And can you imagine how many did he suggest for his daily homework? How many times? Let's say one set is 10 counts. Can you all guess? He's so busy, so he suggested for his homework 10 sets, 10 sets, 10 counts. He suggested 10 counts. 10 counts, we actually practiced. 10 counts took him 2 minutes. Really, about 2 minutes. So if you ask me, I'm not Brother Tan Cheng Meng. I was saying to him, 2 minutes, you have 24 hours. How many minutes is that? 24 times 60 is how much? One day, how many minutes? 1440, So 2 minutes of this, 1440, and then you hope to cure your problem. No way, to me. But because he's serious, maybe Chek Ming, he was suggesting to maybe normal people, but he had a crisis, he had an anxiety problem already. I said, you may need to go and see a psychiatrist already very soon, but I'm giving you this Buddhist antidote. You want to use this method. So after much persuasion, discussion, okay, 10 sets. So 10 sets, 20 minutes, okay, 讨价还价. So anyway, 20 minutes, 1,440, okay. At least, hopefully it works. So, but it has been working. So he has been reporting to me, he could do that, and then less and less anxious. I think he's finishing already, the speech, and quite satisfied already. Okay, so, okay, I want to share with you why I mentioned about 10 counts or something. Okay, there's some important techniques that the Buddha taught actually, that the Buddha shared. I don't know how much you are aware. Okay, let's talk about these 6 senses. Okay, let's do revision. What are the 6 senses? The sense of sight, smell, hearing, taste, touch, mind. Very good. So in science, we learn about the five senses, right? Five sense organs. They never really talk about the mind. But what I learned in philosophy, I used to study philosophy. The philosophers in olden days, they actually had the sixth sense. They call it common sense. But somehow along the line, they drop it. No more common sense. Yeah, they call it the sixth sense, like the telepathy ones. So actually, we have six senses. Okay, the five physical ones plus the mind consciousness. Okay, so actually, nowadays we are very reliant on which one? The sense of sight. You realize, right? Everything, like your handphone, everything, it's not just audio, it's very visual, right? A lot of sense of sight. Okay? But in this talk all the while, is it important to look at me? If you have closed your eyes, it's still okay, right? Because what have you been relying on? This one. Okay, this one not much use. Worse than a dog, right? You cannot even sniff, whatever. Okay? And then this one no use here, okay? Okay, and touch. Here, this one. So that's why all the sutras start with, thus have I not seen, seen the Buddha. No. Heard. Actually, this is very powerful. But somewhere along the line, we forget about this one. But actually, this is how we learn Dharma, actually, from the Buddha's days, okay? They heard the Dharma, they pass it down, okay? So this is actually very powerful, okay? And the next powerful one, you all can imagine, what's the next one? The other one. Yeah, mind again, okay? Yeah. So these are the important ones. So actually, in a lot of, especially those who do, meditation, okay? So definitely the object of meditation will be something related to the mind. You need to focus the mind. So that's why we have breath meditation, etc. And now psychology, they are looking into our methods. Now we have mindfulness psychology coming up. Recently I heard from one of my US Dharma friend, now they have compassion therapy. Wow, nice, compassion therapy. I think they steal from Dharma again, steal from Buddha, copyright from Buddha. Okay, mindfulness, compassion therapy. They find that compassion is one of the very good therapy methods to work with. Okay, so back to these six senses. Actually, besides being powerful, if you use it in another way, they become our thieves. In the Buddha time, Buddha talked about six thieves. He was referring to these six senses. Okay, the energy was to help them remember better. Buddha used the energy of the tortoise. The tortoise have how many parts? How many parts? When it's in danger, you will keep all that six parts, right? What are the six parts? Yeah, the head, the four limbs, right? And then the tail, So it's restraining our six senses in that sense. Okay, so you all try to remember the tortoise, okay? Okay, so try to restrain our six senses, because if not, they are like six thieves. Okay, so six thieves, 六贼, you all understand, right? Why six senses are six thieves? Can you all explain to me? Why are the six senses our six thieves? What do they steal? They don't steal anything? What did they steal? Yeah, steal our attention, steal our inner peace, consciousness, whatever, right? They steal whatever that we treasure also. Okay, so they steal. Okay, but in Chinese there's a saying that says 擒贼先擒王. You heard before? If you want to catch a thief, no point you catch the kakia. Yeah, that's why now I heard, let's say death sentence, they don't hang the kakia anymore, right? No point, right? Yeah, they can come up with more kakia, but they try to extract more details from the kakia, right? The xiao lo lo doesn't matter already. They don't need to hang them. Okay, that's good news. Okay, so 擒贼先擒王, you need to nab the leaders, okay? So these six senses, again, which are the two leaders? They steal the most. Mind. That's why we say monkey mind, 心猿意马. Okay, monkey mind is like the wild monkey and the wild horse. Okay, 心猿意马. Okay, and the other one The other one? The other leader? Your thing is a side, right? Actually, it's not. There's one thing, even in meditation, it's very hard to close down. Yeah. Okay, you can close your eyes. You can somehow, not breathe so much. Okay, you can close your mouth. You can be in this position. But this one, how to close? Even you cannot hear the sound outside. You hear what? Yeah. How many of you could do sets of 1 to 10 without fail just now? No failing. 1 to 10. Show me your hands. No, right? Yeah, I always use the word, it's so humiliating, right? We can't even count properly from 1 to 10, our breath. Right? It's scary, no? How disturbed our mind is, how distracted it is right now. Okay? So actually this sense of hearing, that's why it's so powerful. If you know how to use it to our good use, it's very powerful. But it's also one of the big thieves. Okay? So those of you, even if you are doing Buddho, or you are doing any form, you can consider using this sense of hearing. Okay? So, let's say any form of object of meditation. Okay? So if you are using the breath, okay, then when you count your breath, that's when you are using the mind. Right? If not, what would the mind be doing? Yeah, you will be wondering, right? So if you are here breathing doesn't help, right? So the method is to help you focus your mind. Okay? So those who are using the Buddha's name or mantra, they have one more method. Actually, that's the secret, but a lot of teachers probably never teach them. They have to focus on the sound. Yeah, focus on the sound. Okay? So that's actually one of the methods. Okay? So, yeah. Okay. Yes? Okay, so just before I conclude, I would just like to share that actually one of the maras, modern maras nowadays, besides the modern gadgets, right? There's this state of mind that's becoming, it's like very subtle, but I see it as a as a mara, so-called. What we call this restlessness, like the 5 hindrances, right? Or boredom, That's why you are always relying on external things to try to stimulate your mind. Because actually it's very scary for you to be in silence. Do you all acknowledge that? If it's silence, that's why one of the most cruel thing to do is to lock people up, right? They still use this traditional method, lock people up in prisons. But if you look at all our practitioners in retreat, how are they not different from a prisoner? Those in retreats, those who are meditating in the cave. Any difference? Just as it's a self-imposed one. Right? The difference is maybe that. But no difference, right, from so-called a prisoner, right? Yeah, it's very cruel to lock someone up in that sense, to not give that person anything to do. So actually that's one of the modern things. I heard that now suicide is actually very high, not just in places where it's very stressed, but now it's very high in places like New Zealand, Australia, not because of stress level, but because of loneliness, emptiness. They are more sheep than humans, right? In New Zealand, let's say, 空虚, too empty, nothing to do, nothing to look forward, and then they commit suicide. Especially for those who are retired or something, old people or whatever, or once they have some sickness, they commit suicide. So this is becoming one of the serious problems, that we need to acknowledge. How can we appreciate non-doing? How can we appreciate silence? You must know that all these would be actually opportunities for us to look into our mind, right? When you're with people all the time, when you're doing things all the time, how to look within. Okay? So I always say, the way out. What's the way out for all of you? The way out is in. Okay? That's the way out. To look within. Okay? Find all chances to look within through your objects of meditation, through, like I said, routines that you build times where you can look within, so that other periods of your life when you cannot be looking within, when you when you're, most of the time you are in beta state, but you try to still maintain in alpha state. Okay, that's a scientific explanation. Try to be a more relaxed state that you can look within. Okay, then you will be more productive, then you'll be more effective as a worker, as a parent, as a son, daughter, whatever. As a Buddhist, you're going to be a more effective practitioner in that sense. Okay? Yeah. But I know it's not easy. Switch off your handphone, do nothing for some time. It's very scary. Yeah, but I know because some of you go for retreats, right? I think you appreciate those times, In retreats, they chong kong your handphone, right? So most of the retreats, some of the retreats, now some not so strict, but at least they ask you to put in silent mode, right? Don't check your handphones. Yeah. Okay? Good. Yeah, time running out. Okay. Any question? Yes? Yeah.
Hi. Hello. Yeah, I have two questions. First one is what you said regarding the demise of Buddhism in a couple of thousand years' time, right? Can I know what is the Sangha going to do about it?
Sorry, the first question was what?
You mentioned about the demise of Buddhism, the end of Buddhism.
Demise, okay.
In a couple of thousand years' time.
Yes.
Okay, so what
10,000 years.
10,000. No, less than that now. So what is the Sangha going to do about it?
Okay. Wow.
Second question is about the poison 1% in the cup of 99%.
Yes.
So I think there's a lot of such cases. People mixing Buddhism with their own teachings and all that.
Yes.
And one of them is actually from Taiwan.
Yes.
I don't know if you heard about it.
Quite a few from Taiwan.
The Qinghai sect, right?
Yeah, she's outdated. There are more recent
More,
ones.
okay. So I actually, my mother's brother, sister, all converted to Qinghai.
Okay.
So I tried very hard to restrain my mom from joining them. And luckily, I think I was quite successful.
Wow.
That's why she's here today with us now.
Wow.
But I think that this is a serious problem, and I think maybe the Sangha needs to do something as well about this.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very good. Okay, the Sangha need to do. What about you? Okay, good question. How much time do I have? Can I extend a little bit? Okay. Can Okay, very good question. Thank you, brother. Okay, first question, the demise of Buddhism, right? Okay, so now we are into the first 500 years of degeneration, and we are seeing a lot of symptoms already. Okay? So, by the end of this 10,000 years, there won't be any more Dharma. I hope you are not hanging around anymore. Okay? No more Dharma after 10,000 years. Not because the Sangha are not working hard enough. Okay? It's only because the people by then would not appreciate Dharma anymore. Okay? So, no need to look so far. Let's look at now compared to Buddha's time. We try to imagine, since we have the sutras with us, Buddha's time and now. Okay? Buddha, you try to imagine. Okay. So if we had the Buddha in our times now, can you imagine? Would you try to attend all the teachings? If you had Buddha with us, you all would try, right? Dai must come lah. If BF can invite Buddha here, right? Every night teachings, you all will try to come or not? Yeah, people in those days, anyway, they didn't have TV, right? So the lay people would try to attend the teachings also. Okay? And then Buddha had his entourage, don't forget. Do you know how many? So if you want to invite the Buddha for teachings, you have to cater for shelter for all the rest and food for all the rest. Do you know how many? At least 1,255. Yeah. Okay? 1,255 is entourage. Okay, that's Buddha's time. So nowadays, you look at all the Sangha members, do we have this kind of entourage? And do we have teachings every day, every night, right? Every day, whatever. So it's so different. The people back then appreciate Dharma, definitely because they were good practitioners. So what happens in a degeneration age like this is, first Buddha not around, only Dharma. Even when there's Dharma, the people practicing them are not of that kind of standards anymore. So sad to say, okay, you all have to rely on Sangha like us. No, we are not like quite enlightened like the Buddha's time. Okay, so it's because of so-called people not appreciating Dharma anymore. So what can we all do? Not just Sangha. Okay, Sangha will do our role. Okay, I'll do my best to practice hard. Okay, I've been trying very hard. Okay, since I've been ordained, I try to spend at least, you work full time, right? 8 hours, right? So I would try to work full time also. So 8 hours, I do my work of looking at my mind. 静我的心啊, 8 hours. Okay, usually it's 6 hours of my meditation method, and then 2 hours of teachings. But when I listen to teachings, I make sure I listen, like attentively. I don't walk around. I make sure I'm stationed there. So 8 hours, that's my full-time job. And then the rest, what do? I play already. I go out with friends. Huh? Yeah, the rest is like people who need to talk to me over the phone or any kind of communication. Okay, they can still communicate with me. So more relaxed during that few hours, but still contemplating the Dharma, still doing my practice in, but if I have more time, okay, 10 hours, 12 hours, definitely. Okay, so like in my sleep also, like I share with you, like when I encounter with Monkey King, right, I still try to do my practice. So that's on our part. Huh? So we practice and then we share the Dharma. So that's my part. So for lay people like you, what can you do? So that maybe we can try to push. If we can delay, that would be good, right? So instead of 10,000 years, 10,001 years can or not? 10,002 years, 10,500 years, maybe we can help to delay, right? So what can you all do? Simply appreciate the Dharma as much as you can. Yeah, practice. Practice is the best. Okay? By practicing, you can delay. And when you practice, that's when you can, because we don't just talk to others about Dharma, right? We need to what? Walk the talk, right? Right. Best is we practice and then we show by example, and then people will be curious. Hey, how come you are so effective? How come you are so cool? How come you are so good-tempered? Right? Then people will be curious. Then you can share with them more. Okay. So brother, have I answered your first question? Let's say, yeah. So we can all do our part by appreciating the Dharma. Okay. Sometimes when there are talks, you come and support. That's very good. Maybe it's a topic. Maybe I'm going to share, some other topics that you have heard before. But come and support. That'll be very good. Yeah.
I think that is a bit more arbitrary, and like for example, all the people who are here today, I'm sure all of us have different understanding of the Dharma.
Yes.
There could be different stages that we are in.
Yes.
But it's very hard to when you say the term, not many people will understand it. Certain terminology that's in Bali, for example.
Yes.
And I think this is one of the weakest link that we have. We don't have a consistent education system or our grading system on where are you in the Dharma, how good are you, or which level are you, so that we can have I think we need to have a system in place for the education of Dharma across the board, so that we can have some consistency in one sense of the word. The second thing is that we should have a system of propagating the Dharma. Right? If you look at the people for example, in this BS, it's about the same number of people year after year, and there's not much of a growth, right? And you look at Korea, I think the whole country has been Christianized by the missionaries.
Yes.
The number of Buddhists is almost like less than 1% now,
Yeah.
So it's completely gone.
Yeah.
So if we do nothing, it's going to be, that's what you say, in a couple of thousand years, this will be all gone, right?
Yes.
And I think we need to have a system in place, not the people in place. The people, the leaders, they will change their different qualities. We need to have a system that can sustain the thousands of years.
Yes.
So the system is the one that survives, not the people. Because now we don't have a system to propagate the Dharma effectively right now. And if you look at the Christian, like for example, the mega churches, they have a very systematic way of doing it.
Yes.
Right? They have a quota, for example, for people to recruit more members.
Yes.
But I'm not saying we should be that extreme, but at least there's something to expand the population.
Yeah,
right?
very good point. Thank you, brother. Yeah, thanks for sharing. So the committee members, you can take note, system. Okay, but if you ask me, I still believe in practice. I think what's very special about Buddhism, right? Even from the Buddha's time, there wasn't any so-called system, okay? But it can still be passed down, So, Buddha trained in a way, right? His first 60 disciples, and then he sent them out, right? So that's a kind of system, let's say. But if they were not qualified teachers, no point sending them out, they will all die also. Okay, so I still believe in practice, okay, and from there, of course, we can talk about system, maybe have some system in place, whatever. But still, ultimately, we are a religion of awakening. In Chinese, we always say 觉悟的宗教. It's about awakening. So if each of us can be more and more awakening, if each of us can be more and more awakening each day, then there's hope. The Chinese word is very nice. This word, this awaken word, have you all seen before? 觉, right? What's the other way to pronounce this word in Chinese? Yeah. 睡觉的觉. So you want to 睡觉 or you want to 觉悟? It's just one fine line only, right? Same word. Okay? So if you ask me, because we have been talking about system like since 30 years ago when I was a Buddhist in NUS days, whatever, Of course, definitely we need to work on some systems, but ultimately it's really about education, okay? Education, because Buddha was the best educator. Educate what? Educate about awakening. So that should be our focus. So I know now BF, now we are trying to use music, right, to so-called propagate also. So it must be for education, to educate about Dharma using music. Okay, good. Okay, but that's a good point. So committee members, you can take note. Yeah, but there are classes that are very systemized classes in other centers, and in BF sometimes you have structured courses. Okay, maybe you can look more into that. Okay, second question, what was the second question? The Qinghai thing. So what can we do about that? Yeah, okay. Just now I shared, right? First, you all need, as Buddhists, you all need to be very clear. Okay, so you must really know which are the ones that no, 99% Dharma, but 1% poison, you all don't go. But if there are others who go, right, talk to them. Maybe if your like brother has been doing a good job, you said you try to dissuade your mother, but let them know what's good in terms of our Dharma. Definitely, for Buddha to have spread to today, for Buddha to have spread Dharma, for us until today, there are a lot of good things. So we need to let them know what are the good things within, so that they can make a comparison. So no point talking so-called negatively of others, but more importantly is to share what we have. Does that help? Yeah. Okay. So, but it's good. One day, if there's a need, maybe we can have Sangha members to really share about what's happening now, in the macro sense, and then do some comparison. For that, we need to talk about the 3 marks of existence. So we use that as a gauge. Are you familiar? What are the 3 marks of existence? Yeah, or sometimes we call the 4 marks of existence. In Chinese, it's Fa Yin. It's like Dharma seal, chop, guarantee. This is Dharma. Besides this, all not Dharma. If you look at whatever the other pseudo kind of Buddhist groups they are sharing, it's definitely not within our 3 or 4 marks of existence. Yeah. So we can have that. Buddha taught us how to so-called discern. Okay? Good. Yeah. So quite a bit to digest in this 1.5 hours. Yeah. Yeah, but brother, I really appreciate you for your, all the thoughts which are very macro, I'll say. Yeah, I know you really wish the best for Buddhism and Dharma, right? I can feel. So work harder, okay? And then you can share more with especially the committee members, since they are the ones also making decisions, so you can share your ideas more. Maybe come on board, be a committee member one day. Okay, good.
Yeah, thank you, Venerable. It's a very simple question which I brought up just now. You suggested before we sleep, after we sleep, we do a bit of meditation.
Yes.
My question is that if you wake up in the night and cannot sleep, what do you do? Can you suggest something? What can we do to go back to sleep?
Yeah, do that practice. Do until you fall asleep. Because we need to bring it down, just like I was saying, right, to delta level, right? Yeah? So whatever practice you will slowly come down. Alpha, theta, the hypnosis state is theta state, and then to delta state.
But what happens if you can't sleep? Do you want to try?
You know, recently there's a Rinpoche in town. He's called Lama Zopa Rinpoche. Yeah? The day before last, I think Saturday night, his teachings went all the way to 4 a.m. Have you all heard? Marathon teachings. I heard it started like 7:30 p.m. ended at 4 a.m. That's his style. Do you all know why? How come it's like until 4 a.m.? Good for you, you don't need to sleep. What I heard is he never needs to sleep. Rinpoche, he's now in his 70s, I think. He never sleeps. He never doesn't need to sleep. Actually, if you can maintain an alpha state, or best is theta state, the hypnosis state, you don't need delta state, actually. Better than nothing. Of course, we still need some delta state, the sleeping state. But if you cannot, if you are very relaxed, but a lot of times, when you all cannot sleep, what do you all feel? Agitated, like you look at the ceiling, you count your sheep, right? Then next day how? No, I don't have enough 精神, whatever, no? Actually relax, because the next night, if you cannot really sleep for the whole night, next night what will happen? Next night, you should sleep. Because your body cannot take it already after, unless you already have some mental problem, that one I don't know. Okay? So don't worry. So even if you cannot sleep, don't panic. Then you think Buddha also didn't need to sleep. Yeah, like Buddha. All the Rinpoche, a lot of Rinpoches don't need to sleep. Okay? So if a lot of, some good practitioners, they also practice Pu Tao Tan. Like, remember Tenzin Palmo, I heard, she was in her cave in the snow, right? 12 years, she just had a square box, right? Yeah, don't need to lie down. So a lot of the practitioners, they just meditate and then they sleep already. So if you can relax, even though you wake up next day, it's still okay. It's the state of mind. Trust me. Yeah.
Thank you.
Can, yeah. Good. Okay, so I think we are eating into your time. Okay, before I end, I would like to share that I'm so happy to have this opportunity. I thank the committee members for inviting me, okay, and look forward to some more sharing, okay. But I hope before our next meeting, let's say, I will be able to hear some good news. I will see some more hands. Okay, Shifu, I've been doing, some daily practice. Okay, so last thing, the Kung Fu is actually not when you're seated on the cushion. Right? It's when you leave your cushion. So whatever practice that we are doing is to be able to bring it to our daily life and maintain that state of mind in all periods of our everyday life. Okay? Good. Yeah. Then if you need help to pinpoint a method, because we all have different illnesses, we all need different antidotes. That's why the Buddha recommended so many methods. So if you haven't found one method, you must talk to some venerables that you trust, or some good Kalyana Mitras, okay, or the good Dharma friends, and pinpoint one that you can take your medication every day. You must choose one and work on it, and you go deep. Okay, don't have a variety. That doesn't help. Go deep into one. So again, no point, 6 days you don't do any practice. Sunday you do 45 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours. It doesn't work that way. Consistent every day. Then you are like digging the well, you go deeper and deeper. Okay? Would that be good? Okay, thank you. Yeah.